you're a fan of the World Endurance Championship and the Le Mans 24 Hours, then what you're about to see is certainly going to be up your street. This championship is all about high speed, high downforce and high action. And with a packed grid for 2016, it's only set to get bigger and better. This is Silverstone, and this is the opening 3 rounds of the 2016 BRSCC Excool Open Sports Car Series.
Outright pole position going to Duncan Williams from the Class A poleman, Graham Cole, and then Josh Smith, third on the grid, but Class C pole position in his Radical. The invitation class headed by Joe Stables. He lines up in 11th place on the grid in the Radical Pro 6. And Class E pole position there going to Tim Harmer in the Revelation LF1R. 31 cars qualifying for the opening round here on the National Circuit at Silverstone, and we're on board with the man who qualified second overall, but the Class A pole setter, Graham Cole. Been racing a long time as Graham comes from Carmarthen. On his outside, the poleman. Outside here on the National Circuit, his pole position, that's Duncan Williams, outright pole on the outside. And there is the number 10 car who accelerates away well, but claiming the lead is Graham Cole. And Josh Smith drops back to 5th. That's Mike Genvy in white, the defending champion. The green car of Alan Hogg from 7th on the grid has passed Paul Spencer and Craig Mitchell off the start. So a cracking start by Alan Hogg. So it's the Class A car of Graham Cole leading. Then we've got a bunch of the Class Bs all involved in the action, and we're looking from Josh Smith at Mike Genvy. He's going to try and go for second in class on the inside of Alan Hogg. Very quick starting Alan Hogg. Genvy goes through into second position in class, and Josh Smith starting to put Hogg under pressure as well. Genvy needs to catch that black car, Duncan Williams, who leads Class B. All very competitive. Class B 1500 to 2 litre. Class A are the over 2 litre class cars. Class C 1300 to 1500cc. Class E cars up to 1000cc. What that means, of course, is that with this multi-car, we've got an invitation class as well. And with the class structure, the race leaders, although they might get away, you very rarely see in this type of racing a lights to flag race win without any driver effort, because the drivers have to negotiate the classes of cars that have the smaller engines and the less power. So Josh Smith now challenging Alan Hogg hard, looks up the inside line on the exit of Beckett's. On the Wellington straight, he's through. Great move then by Josh Smith, the 26-year-old, second in Class C last season, overall title winner back in 2014. So very clearly a man to be reckoned with in the Excool OSS Championship. Down behind them we've got the Ligier of Craig Mitchell running in Class B, the 22-year-old from Les Mahago. So across the line, with the race leader still there, Graham Cole. Duncan Williams running second but leading class from Mike Genvy. This is Maggott's corner, the left king, then the seemingly never-ending right-hander at Beckett's. It's a long way round that corner, but then after all the work and exertion, they're rewarded with the Wellington straight. And here they come, blue flags being shown for the back-marking cars. Now we've moved on in the race, and Cole had a problem on lap 6 which dropped him back down the order, and the car that we're catching up with now is Craig Mitchell in the Ligier, and Cole goes through. So this is a recovery from Graham Cole after a technical problem at Brooklands on lap 6, and he's running well, but now catching some back-marker traffic. That was Adam Dale in white that he went past there. So he's having to pass overall placed cars to climb his way back up the order, and he's doing so very well indeed, but also working his way through the back marker traffic at the same time. And as we said, the Ligier there of Craig Mitchell. Craig, a vastly experienced young driver, only 22, but has raced karts, Sports 2000, the Motorbike Engine Legends Cars Championship back in 2010, where he was the rookie champion up in Scotland. But we're back with Graham Cole, who still leads Class A, so he's recovered well from that problem he had earlier on. Sadly, we've lost Mike Genvy out of the race, so he's retired, so he's had a problem. But as you can see, Cole running very well indeed, starting to close up here on 68, which is the Radical Pro Sport of Gloucestershire racer Robert Gilman. Through and past Robert Gilman goes Graham Cole, who's running in a good track position. He's clawed his way back up into third place in this race with Craig Mitchell, who we saw him pass earlier on, down in fourth. Mitchell running second in Class B. So Cole running well. That's John Wilkes in 85 that we go past now. The man from Milton Keynes, ex-Gearbox Carter, is past. So this is continuing, more traffic, and it's Neil Harris now in 115 that's being caught, the nemesis. And I'm wondering whether Cole is going to be able to catch Josh Smith. Lap time seemed to indicate that Josh is away down the road in second position overall, but leading his class. So here we go. On board with Josh Smith, who's going to take second position behind Duncan Williams and crosses the line. He's delighted with that. Josh Smith takes the Class C win, second position overall. Duncan Williams is the race winner overall and wins Class B. Graham Cole wins Class A. Joe Stables up to 5th in the invitation class. It's a great result for Joe, up from 11th on the grid. Our other class winner was Tim Harmer, Class E, that's the class up to 1 litre. And he comes home in 14th position, two places on the road ahead of Dan Prendergast.
It was great. It wasn't going to be easy because there's a few really quick cars in a straight line, and the first few laps it was still to be decided. So yeah, great start to see.
We had an alright start, but kind of missed the lights being stuck behind Duncan's wing. Lost a couple of slots and got them back on the first 2 laps, and then just settled into rhythm really, making sure that boys with the pit board let me know how far everyone's behind. Duncan was obviously off in the distance. We weren't going to catch him being in a Class B car, but great to be back in OSS after what is now pretty much a year out. After last year we had engine issues which finished our season early, but great result for our first race back.
It was really enjoyable. Not as much as I'd like though, because I had a couple of seconds on Duncan before the car cut out. I'd prepared this map on the ECU beforehand, and it was designed to put water into the water injection basically, but when I switched to it the car completely cut out on the hairpin.
Well, the grid for race 2 based on the driver's second fastest qualifying time from the original qualifying session, and such was the consistency of the drivers that the grid has a familiar look. Duncan Williams again on outright pole and heading Class B. Graham Cole fastest in Class A, he lines up second on the grid. Josh Smith is third, being the Class C pole sitter. Then we have the invitation class. Joe Stables again on pole position for the invitations. He's 10th on the grid. Tim Harmer fastest man in Class E, ahead of John Wilkes, who lines up 22nd. And keep your eyes open for Graham Hill in the Radical PR6. He lines up towards the back of the field. Didn't set a time in this session, neither did the Dane Kevin Sørensen, former Danish Formula Ford champion, twice Danish champion in actual fact, and he will make some good progress through the field, I feel sure, as well. This, though, the view from Graham Cole. Duncan Williams this time has a much better start and leads. Graham Cole second, in car with Paul Spencer, passed there by Mike Genvy. Up ahead of him, Craig Mitchell went through, as well as Alan Hogg. So Genvy here, although retiring from race number 1, because it's on the original qualifying session, the driver's second fastest times, doesn't get punished and start from the back after a non-finish. He's got a good front row start, which is pretty much as it should be in this sort of sports car racing. So looking at the back end of Craig Mitchell's car, I think Mitchell was past there. Genvy looks at the outside line of Hogg side by side. That was extremely clean by the pair of them. And you'll watch lesser drivers go into the complex there and take each other out, but there was space between the two cars. They were giving each other room, and that was a fine move by Mike Genvy, and great racing from Alan Hogg. That's what this championship is all about. Very good, clean, fair, and significantly fast racing. There is Hogg. The Spire GT3 has got to now chase Mike Genvy. Genvy's made a good start, but of course, having retired fairly early on in race number 1, might find himself to be a bit race rusty. Well, actually, having said that, nothing of the sort. Through and on the inside of Josh Smith. Smith, remember, running in Class C. And Smith's going to have a look down the inside as they come down into the Brooklands complex. The field starting to space each other out just a little bit at the moment as we go in car with Paul Spencer again. Fine blue skies, little bit of cloud coverage every now and again, just bringing the temperatures down the right side of being cool. I guess we should say Excool, shouldn't we, here? I think that might be Mike Genvy peeling off into pit lane, sadly, for a second retirement. Not a great start to Genvy's title defence. The 41-year-old from Wolverhampton, as we pick up on Norman Lackford, who I think was third in Class B in race number 1. 71 years of age, the driver of the yellow 32 Radical PR6. He won the first ever Castle Combe Sports Series race and started competing back in 1969. We're on board with Graham Hill, who has carved his way through the field, and it's Darcy Smith there in car number 12 immediately in front. He's challenging Norman Lackford. Wide move here on the exit of Beckett's. That was a good move by Hill because he knows that the outside of the exit of Beckett's tees up along the straight for the inside line coming into Brooklands. So Lackford still in front of us. Darcy Smith, though, goes back through, and Graham Hill third place in this little trio battle here, which we will rejoin here at Silverstone after the break. Welcome back to Silverstone, race 2 of the 2016 Excool OSS Championship. Race leader is Graham Cole, also of course leading Class A. He's some 30 seconds clear of Duncan Williams, who leads Class B, and then Josh Smith, who's leading Class C. But Graham Cole in this one, after the mapping problems you heard him talk about at the end of race number 1, has no problems here. Clear skies, clear circuit at the moment, but he's been working his way through the back markers, lapped several cars once already. He's closing up on Craig Mitchell at the moment, who's in 7th place, running second in Class B, the white and light blue Ligier, and that's going to be the target. So into Maggots, then Beckett's. There is Mitchell in the 22 car. Mitchell, remember, still 7th overall and running well in Class B, and he's got two other cars in front of him. Class A car of Richard Burns and Graham Hill chasing him. So coming down the straight, those guys keep well over and are going to allow the race leader through. So good move there by the race leader, picking them off. Now in front of us, going through, is Graham Hill. I said to keep your eyes on him when we saw the grid. So Hill goes past Richard Ferns. Through on the inside as well goes Graham Cole. Deft move inside of one, outside of another car. That's how you do it, and that's how you do it safely. So Graham Cole on his way, and we saw Graham Hill passing Richard Ferns. Hill goes up into 5th place. So in actual fact, the race leaders lapped everybody up to and including 5th position, which is Graham Hill. This is Adam Dale in car number 3, the man from York. OSS debut this year. He's going to be passed. He's still running 4th place in Class C, Adam Dale, so I don't think he'll be too unhappy with his result here. But the race leader coming down into the Brooklands Luffield complex, very well clear. It's going to be not only another class win, but an overall win. So an overall win apiece by the look of it for Duncan Williams and Graham Cole. So Cole now coming out of Woodcote and heading around to the checkered flag, and race 2 here at Silverstone is indeed won by Graham Cole, who punches the air with delight. He wins the class. Duncan Williams wins Class B. Josh Smith again winner in Class C, and Joe Stables, 4 different class winners in the top 4 positions, winning the invitation class. Class E this time goes to Dan Prendergast in the Contour following a retirement for race 1 class winner Tim Harmer.
The car went really, really well. It took the boost without misfiring this time, and I didn't make the mistake of switching maps. So yeah, it went well.
Duncan, another class win for you, and but missing out on the overall win this time. What was the difference in this second race?
Well, Graham's got probably double the brake horsepower that we've got, and the way he came past on the start-finish straight. I mean, if that's on the video, people ought to look at it. It was as though I was standing still. So, you know, fair dues. He's got his mechanics sorted.
It was a good second race. Not quite as good as race one. Struggled with lap times a little bit. I think the heat's probably got to the car more than others. But third again, third for the first time today. Another podium, which is nice, and a class win, which is the important bit for the points for the championship today. Really,
it was hard work. It was certainly hot out there, but it was great for the car actually completed it after a bad qualifying, bad first race. Bodywork flew off, so it's not been the best start to the day. So great to get the car sorted, back out there, and to get lap record as well was a bonus.
Graham Cole starts on pole position for this one with Josh Smith alongside the C-Class pole. Then it's the Invitation Class man, Joe Stables, followed by Graham Hill. Class B pole going to Craig Mitchell because Jordan Sanders is taking over Duncan Williams' car. And Jordan clearly wasn't in race 2, which decided the grid for race 3. So Jordan Sanders starts right at the back of the grid. 2 rows ahead of him is the defending champion, Mike Genvy. Genvy lines up 23rd on the grid, so he'll be looking to try and charge through from there and get a first finish of the weekend. There's confirmation of Jordan Sanders starting at the back of the grid in Class B, so expect to charge through from him and Genvy. Here, though, is the view from the pole position man, Graham Cole, and also Josh Smith. We've got onboards again with Paul Spencer. Third in Class A on the grid, but it's a very quick start once again, as you might expect from Graham Cole. Look at the fighters up ahead. Craig Mitchell immediately ahead of us at the moment. Mitchell, of course, running in Class B. A very good mixture of the classes. A, B, C, invitation runners as well, all in the mix at the sharp end of the field, which provides some superb racing for these drivers and also the fans that are here at Silverstone watching on the 1.6 mile National Circuit here. Changes going on. Here's the view again from Spencer looking at Paul Mitchell ahead of Craig Mitchell ahead of Mitchell. We've got the Richard Fern's car, which is the leading Class A car, so Spencer will want to try and get past Mitchell in order to have a nibble at the class leader, and he's some way back at the moment from Craig Mitchell as he comes across the line. But what I can tell you is that very good progress being made by Mike Genvy and Jordan Sanders. Here comes Genvy in car number 1, Sanders in the number 10 Juno from the last row of the grid. What a first lap it's been for him. Now, where's Genvy gone? Genvy's disappeared from shot. Surely not another retirement. Those two were 9th and 10th as they crossed the line at the end of the first lap. There's Darcy Smith running second in the invitations, car number 12. It's still out front. Graham Cole, Josh Smith running in second position. We pick up on car 72. That's Graham Hill coming under pressure at the moment from Joe Stables. Joe, the leading invitation class car at the minute. And Graham Hill running second in Class C behind Josh Smith. Smith looking to make it 3 straight wins in Class C. Graham Cole, of course, looking to make it 3 in Class A. We're going to have a different winner, I think. Well, we will in Class B because Duncan Williams isn't out there. And here's the view from Paul Spencer again, trying to get past Craig Mitchell so that he can start to have a little nibble at the Class A leader, Richard Ferns. So Mitchell in the white and light blue Ligier, a little bit away from those guys in front now. And Spencer's thinking about looking up the inside line here as they go into Beckett's. Meanwhile, it's a look up the inside here from Craig Mitchell. Richard Ferns, but now down the inside, and to take the place, Paul Spencer goes through. Class A car passes the currently leading Class B car of Craig Mitchell, but Mitchell coming under pressure now from Jordan Sanders behind. So keep your eyes open for the black Juno, number 10, Jordan Sanders is in the mix here. This is about to be a pass for the class lead, and Jordan Sanders from the back of the grid takes the class lead as they go across the line. Craig Mitchell in the Ligier can't do anything about it, so Sanders takes the class lead. Craig Mitchell down to second position, and Jordan Sanders here, this is inspired stuff, goes past Paul Spencer, and he's on his way maybe to an overall podium as we go back with the race leader Graham Cole doing a grand job out of the front of this race. As we look back at Craig Mitchell now chasing Richard Ferns. Inside line of John Wilkes goes the race leader, so Wilkes finds himself a lap down. We've got a car in front, I think is Robert Ball, car number 8, the man from Stamford, the 49-year-old in the Nemesis, brand new Nemesis, championship regular, always top 10 in the championship. And the engine note has died on the leader's car. And look at everybody pouring past its curtains for Graham Cole in the Jade is going to lose the lead. Josh Smith will take over in lead position. So it's Josh Smith leading now. Jordan Sanders rapidly approaching. Jordan did make it up into a podium position. And that is not sadly a sight we wanted to see. But this is a sight that Josh Smith wanted. Another class win in the offing, and he is the overall race leader. Through and across the line he goes. He'll have a look in his mirrors. Closing up now big time is Jordan Sanders in second place. Now Sanders here, if he gets his skates on, could possibly take the overall win, but Josh Smith has been very quick once again. Sanders with the overall fastest lap of the race on lap 12 of 53.9, 110 miles an hour bar a whisker, and their confirmation rubbing salt into the wound sadly for Graham Cole. 2 class wins and a retirement. The class lead, I think, therefore will go to Richard Ferns, with Paul Spencer dicing hard for that lead. But back to the race leader. Josh Smith is still there, but look, there's Jordan Sanders closing in, but I don't think Sanders has got enough time to take the overall win. It will be a class win from the back for him, but there's the checker. Josh Smith takes the win. Jordan Sanders takes second position and the class win. Joe Stables wins the invitations. Richard Ferns is the winner in Class A. Class E once again, a double win, 2 out of 3 for Dan Prendergast in the Contour, rounding off a relatively successful meeting for him.
Perfect. You know, that last time out was Rockingham in May last year for us, and yeah, we've got our first outright win ever in OSS, which is a great achievement for Bridgewater College and the little Class E car up against the mitre Class A and Class B.
It was awesome. Yeah, good, really good to get back in the car. Shame we didn't have one more lap to get the lead, but that's racing. Yeah.
So as the teams and drivers pack up behind me and the sun begins to set here at Silverstone, it's been an incredible opening 3 races for the Excool OSS Championship. Congratulations to Duncan Williams, to Graham Cole and to Josh Smith for their overall victories, as well as to all of our class winners and podium finishers. The championship now moves across to Rockingham on June 11th and 12th, but if you want to keep up to date with all the goings on, you can head to their website as well as heading to Facebook and Twitter for OSS. You can also follow the club's activities, the BRSCC, by heading to the website brscc.co.uk, whilst also heading to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and subscribing to the YouTube channel. From all of us here and myself, Scott Woodwiss, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in Rockingham for rounds 4 and 5. Bye for now.